Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling drained, unsure why? Not because they yelled or insulted you. They were kind, polite, even praised you with apparent sincerity. Yet, you left feeling hollow, doubting yourself, with a vague sense of unease. That's not your imagination. It's a sign you've encountered someone with a dark soul, masked by kindness, concern, and friendliness. These people don't always reveal their nature openly. They don't slam doors, shout, or offend directly. Their words are chosen with precision. They say exactly what you want to hear, then subtly infiltrate your emotions, pulling you down, making you question your worth. It could be a colleague who praises you but quietly undermines your opportunities, or a loved one who claims to care, yet drains your energy bit by bit. In today's video, we won't dwell on evil in a dramatic or fearful way. We'll calmly and clearly examine 5 types of people with subtle, toxic intentions, not to judge or become cold, but to understand. More importantly, to learn how to protect yourself, maintaining inner peace like a Stoic calm, resolute, and unshaken. One type of manipulator poses as your closest ally. You'll never see them yell or force their will on you. They don't shout, pressure overtly, or insult you outright. They approach with sweet words, warmth, and feigned friendliness. But if you're observant, each interaction leaves you feeling smaller, less confident, and more doubtful than before. This is the manipulator disguised as a friend. They don't control you with power, but with the illusion that you need them to feel validated. Their advice sounds sincere. You're so talented. But sometimes you act too hastily. They frame it as wisdom, saying, maybe it's just a lack of experience. Their words seem kind, but afterward, you feel inadequate. What makes them dangerous is you don't realize you're being manipulated. They position themselves as your helper, your confidant, the one who cares most. Yet deep down, they plant seeds of self-doubt, enough to make you mold yourself to their comfort. I once knew someone like this. He'd praise me in meetings, saying I had leadership potential, but in private talks with the boss, he'd whisper, I seemed unstable or needed more oversight to stay consistent. At first, I didn't suspect a thing. I thought his feedback was genuine. It wasn't until I was sidelined from key projects that I realized he didn't want me to grow. He wanted me beneath him. He needed me to believe I depended on him, when in truth, he relied on my dimmed light. Stoicism teaches us to stay vigilant, not angry. Marcus Aurelius never said to rage against such people. He urged us to observe them as an outsider, treating them as exercises to sharpen our clarity and calm. Epictetus wrote, you cannot control what others say about you, but you can decide what enters your mind. That's the core lesson. Manipulators don't defeat you with actions, but with subtle suggestions that erode your self-belief. Yet, if you hold fast to your own worth, their words are mere breezes passing by. If someone in your life leaves you doubting yourself after every talk, tread carefully. They may not hate you, but they don't want you stronger than them. As a Stoic, your aim isn't to cut them off abruptly, but to create inner distance, never letting anyone but you define your value. 2. The false friend. These people don't show overt negativity. They don't hurt you directly. In fact, they make you feel they're your closest confidant. They listen, agree, and cheer you on. But notice this, They're only there when you're at your lowest, and when you rise, they fade or turn sarcastic. These are the ones who love your weakest self. They want you emotionally dependent, but they're never truly happy when you grow. At first, they seem to understand you like no one else, offering a safe haven. But as you change for the better, they drift away. You'll hear them say things like, "Wow, you've changed so much. Not the same guy anymore." As if growing is shameful. As if not needing them is betrayal. They tease with remarks that hit your old insecurities, like, "Looking sharp today," trying to relive your youth. They call it joking, but it's not love, it's something else. Not closeness, but mockery veiled in a smile. I had a friend like this. She was there every time I was down, comforting and attentive. But when I found my path, took care of myself, and learned to say no, she pulled back. Then came a message: "You've changed too much." Probably busy with new friends, forgetting the old ones. I hadn't grown cold. I just stopped feeding her emotional reliance. Stoicism doesn't teach us to make a scene and cut people off. Seneca said it best: "Don't despise those who lack sincerity. See them as a test of your clarity and strength." If you want a mirror to reflect true kindness, watch how someone treats you when you no longer need them. Real friends lift you up and embrace your growth. False friends cherish you only when you're weak, because that's when they hold sway over your emotions. Stoicism reminds us that true bonds don't diminish you. They don't make you doubt yourself or feel guilty for evolving. If someone only values the old you, they're not your champion. They just want you stuck where they feel secure. Remember, you owe no one your stagnation. If someone only loves you when you're down, that's not friendship, it's dependence dressed as care. As a Stoic, you don't need to make noise. Quietly walk away and pursue the path that makes you stronger each day. 3. The controller. They don't shout, "I want to rule you." They don't command or threaten. Instead, they wield something subtler, your emotions. Because they claim to act out of love, it's easy to mistake their control for care. Controllers are often close: a partner, family member, or old friend. They don't forbid outright. They suggest. They don't force. They worry. They say things like, "I'm just not comfortable with you hanging out with that guy." Or, "You shouldn't dress like that at your age. People will talk." Or, "Working so far from home, aren't you worried about being taken advantage of?" It sounds reasonable, like protection, but look closer, they're shrinking your world. Every choice becomes an emotional negotiation. They don't want you independent. They want you reliant on them for safety. The worst part: they make you feel guilty for pursuing what's yours. Want time alone, they're hurt. Reconnect with old friends, they turn cold. Say no to their requests, they quietly withdraw. Later saying how disappointed they are. They don't chain you with ropes, they bind you with guilt. I heard a story from a woman, married 20 years. Her husband never yelled or used force, but over time, she lost all her friends, gave up her hobbies, and stopped doing anything alone. She told me, "He only wants what's best for me, but I feel like I'm living in a glass cage." That's what Stoics call a prison built from overprotection. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Freedom isn't just breaking chains. It's refusing to let your mind be swayed by others' emotions. When you adjust your actions to soothe someone else's feelings, You're living their life, not yours. Ask yourself, am I living to keep them calm or to grow as a man? True love doesn't demand your constant presence. It wants you strong, free, and choosing to return, not because you're emotionally bound. Stoicism doesn't preach rebellion, but teaches us to draw clear lines between care and control, connection and captivity. You can stay in the relationship without letting it define you. You can love without losing yourself. As Epictetus said, if something costs your inner peace, no matter its name, it's not worth it. 4. The saboteur. Not everyone attacks with harsh words or obvious actions. Some choose a quieter path. They don't confront you directly, nor do they genuinely support you. They stand by your side. Yet, they're often the first to make you doubt yourself. These are often long-time friends, close colleagues, or family. They don't do anything blatantly wrong, but when you're excited about something, they're the first to highlight risks, failure, or reasons it might not work. You say, I'm starting a small business. They reply, the economy's rough. Most startups fail fast. Think it through. They say, you mention learning a new skill, and they respond, at our age, what's the point? Take it easy. They don't stop you outright, but they sow vague doubts. Their advice, wrapped in gentle concern, isn't meant to lift you up. It's designed to make you hesitate. They call it realism, but it doesn't strengthen you. It makes you second-guess, waver, and sometimes turn back. I knew someone like this. Whenever I wanted to try something new, he'd offer advice, never harsh, always soft and reasonable. I'm just looking out for you. That path's tough. You're doing fine already. Why make things harder? At first, I valued it, but over time, I saw he only showed up when I was about to grow. Each conversation left me less certain, more doubtful. This quiet sabotage feels like friendship, sounds like care, but it's emotional control disguised as support. If sharing your dreams leaves you feeling smaller, less excited, less confident, that's not care. It's manipulation masked as truth. Marcus Aurelius said, the wise don't need others' approval to do what's right. Your path doesn't require their permission, only your conviction. If someone always points out what could go wrong, making you pause more than act, and never truly celebrates your progress, step back, not because they're evil, but because they may not be ready to see you shine. Stoicism teaches us to keep our minds clear, a shield against those who dim our light. Stoicism doesn't demand you distrust everyone or sever ties coldly. It teaches this: a clear mind is your strongest defense. Let it be a mirror, reflecting who lifts you up and who pulls you down. Once you see clearly, you don't need to argue or explain, just keep moving forward. 5. The energy drainer. Some don't harm with cruel words or overt acts. They simply exhaust you by their presence. They don't insult or control you, but every moment with them leaves you heavy, tired, even guilty for feeling that way. Energy drainers live in constant negativity. There's always a complaint, a wound to share, an injustice they've endured. They don't attack you directly, but they pull you into their emotional abyss without you realizing you're sinking. At first, you think you're just being a good listener. You empathize, support, show up. But over time, you dread their calls. You avoid meetings. After each talk, You're left drained, like you've weathered a storm. They say, "You're the only one I can talk to." You feel guilty, so you stay. They say, "I'm never lucky. No one really cares." You try to comfort, but they reply, "It's easy to say you wouldn't understand." Eventually, you see they don't want solutions. They cling to their pain, needing an audience. Their pain defines them, and playing the victim is how they feel seen. They don't seek a lifeline, just an audience. And that's you. Stoicism doesn't make you heartless, but it teaches a vital truth. You can't fill another's cup if yours is empty. Epictetus said, "A loving soul doesn't carry every burden, but chooses what to bear and what to release." You're not obligated to hear the same story for years. It's not a lack of compassion, it's valuing your mental strength. I had a friend like this. I gave time, energy, support. I listened, advised, tried everything. But no matter what I said, nothing changed. It wasn't about growth. They just needed me to validate their suffering, to confirm their victimhood. One day, I stepped back. I didn't lash out or cut them off. I simply created space to preserve my own strength, not out of selfishness, but because I knew if I burned out, my presence would be hollow, no longer a gift. You weren't born to carry the world's weight. You're not anyone's savior. Love doesn't demand endless sacrifice. And kindness doesn't mean abandoning your boundaries. If someone leaves you drained, ask, am I helping them, or am I chained to their pain? If the answer stings, that's your signal. Step back, reclaim your energy, and set new limits. As Stoics remind us, to bring light to others, your inner fire must burn strong first. After recognizing these toxic types, manipulators, false friends, controllers, saboteurs, and energy drainers, what's next? Should you cut them out? Avoid them? Confront them? Speak up? Or stay silent? There's no universal answer, but there's a clear path. Respond like a Stoic. Stoicism doesn't demand emotional rigidity or coldness. It calls for intentional reactions, unshaken by others' games. With manipulators, stay vigilant. Watch their words like an outsider observing a play, not caught in their subtle web. Ask yourself, am I acting from my values, or am I swayed by their influence? For false friends, don't waste energy explaining or fixing the bond. You don't need to prove you still care or haven't changed. Those truly for you rejoice in your growth. Those who don't will guilt you for moving forward. Never apologize for becoming better. With controllers, stay calm and firm. Don't react with anger. Say, I value your concern, but this is my choice, and I'll own the outcome. A Stoic doesn't need approval to do what's right, just clarity of mind. With saboteurs, don't bother exposing or accusing them. Just keep your distance. Stop sharing your deepest dreams, and their influence fades. You don't need applause from those waiting for your stumble. Focus on your path. It's the only thing you control. For energy drainers, remember, kindness doesn't mean exhaustion. You can care, but set limits. Say, I need space today. I'll listen when I'm ready. That's not selfishness, it's self-mastery. The bedrock of Stoic practice. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if someone angers you, ask, am I letting them control my mind? That's a Stoic's constant reminder. When your peace is disturbed by anger, pain or frustration, pause and ask, am I choosing this reaction or am I being pulled into it? True freedom in Stoicism isn't banishing toxic people, they'll always exist. It's mastering how you respond to them. You can walk away from a provoking conversation with your calm intact. You can choose not to retaliate, explain, or justify, and still know you've done right. Toxic people only win when they make you lose yourself. A Stoic never lets that happen. If you spot these types around you, don't fear them. You don't need to change them, just how you react to them. That's your power, your path to Stoic strength. Don't waste energy trying to fix toxic people or blame yourself for letting them in. See them as challenges that sharpen your clarity and self-mastery. Each time you hold your boundaries, choose silence over reaction, or step away in peace. You're closer to inner freedom. You don't need to defeat them. Just ensure they don't drag you down. Choose peace over reaction, progress over validation, and you've won in the calm, powerful, Stoic way. Thank you for watching. If this resonated, like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs it. See you in the next Stoic lesson, where you'll be reminded, peace isn't found out there. It starts with how you see and respond to the world.